Hello again, this is Kurgan here, and today I'm going to be talking about the new WarZ patch. I was just playing about 2 hours ago, and I was actually in a server with Johnny Truant, and he was talking to some people, and then finally he announced the servers were coming down. So I logged off, and then I waited for a little bit and tried to log in, and there was a 30 megabyte patch. And they, of course, put up a post saying what the patch was, and I'll put a link down in the description if you want to actually see the post for yourself. But it was a small patch, 30 megabytes, but it had some pretty interesting things. Now, as many people know, the last patch brought early revivals if you wanted to spend GC on it, and it also changed the revive time to 1 hour. Now, I know people complained about the revive time because 4 hours was a long time, so that's what their option for the early revive was, is if you really wanted to spend the GC on it, which I don't think many people did because, well, that's basically real world money after you spend all of your stuff that you got when you bought the game. So, yeah, they changed it back to an hour and they got rid of that early revive. I'm pretty sure people complain about the early revive. I don't see why. Who cares? You have 5 character slots anyways, but that's gone and revive time is back to an hour. So that'll make some people happy. Also, the scoreboard was updated. Since they introduced the new 100-player servers, if you have been in a 100-player server and it had been mostly full, you can only see up to position 79. And even then, that far right row was all cut off. You couldn't see if they were neutral, or if they're bandit, or if they're hero, or whatever they were. So now they have condensed it down and made it a lot smaller. But the problem is I'm playing on a 27-inch monitor here, and it's pretty small. Because if there's 100 people in there, I'm not sure if it scales because the server I was playing on was 80 plus people the whole time. So hopefully it scales and actually makes the names bigger if you're playing on a smaller server. That, or I really wish they would make the chat box go invisible after people stop talking, and then they could just make it bigger anyways, because there's actually a lot of screen space that they could use. People with smaller monitors, I think, are really going to struggle to read the actual server list of the people in the server. Also, just a while ago, in one of the newer patches, they added the rotating camera when you were dead. So I thought that was overpowered because basically now you're just a beacon. You're just sitting there, you can't be killed, and you can report in a 360-degree area basically everything that's going on. So if you have teammates there, it's almost advantageous to have somebody dead, because if you die in a really good spot, you're just such a valuable asset because of the information that you're going to be able to relay, and the other people that killed you can't stop you. So now they have added a 60-second timer, and after that you'll disconnect. I still think that you shouldn't be able to move the camera and you should just be able to stay in the game, but this is a step forward. We'll see where they go from here. I think 60 seconds is actually still too long, but you should also be able to stay in the game. Maybe just make the camera stop rotating after 60 seconds. I don't know. We'll see if they ever do anything with it, but this is a good start. Also, Christmas was introduced with the last patch. You could get hats, you could get a candy cane, which was a melee weapon, and you could get some green and red glow sticks. I can't remember the specific name, but now they've added some more Christmas items. I didn't manage to make it to a Christmas tree today, so I'm not sure exactly what these items are, so I'm kind of curious to see what they are. So just keep it in mind. If you go to a Christmas tree, you might find a surprise that wasn't there before. Also, zombies were optimized. Now, in the last patch, they optimized zombies a bit as well, because before that, Boulder City had a big change to it, and I used to run around in Boulder with 45 FPS while recording, and after the patch, it's like 24. So my frames were cut in half, which is huge. I mean, 24 was really kind of not enjoyable to play. If I turned off recording, I went up to 32, but even then, it just didn't feel right. Well, after the last patch with the optimizations, I was up to 30, 35-ish. So it was, and that was while recording. So I gained, 10 FPS. It actually, while recording, I felt just fine. So I haven't got a chance to go back to Boulder to see if this has made optimizations better. But right away, my other friends with a little bit worse computers than me were saying that they were seeing 55 and 60 FPS while running around in areas where they hadn't seen those kind of frames before. So it seems like it has made a difference, and optimizations are always great. It helps everybody. So very good to see that. Now, also with the last patch, they messed around with how items work. You cannot loot through walls anymore. Well, that created some other issues. Items clipping through the grounds when they're spawned in, couldn't be looted, and things like that. So now they've gone back and polished that up a bit. I guess there was issues with items sometimes falling through the ground. That's gone. Also, items that are spawned partially inside of things. Binoculars are a famous one. They spawn in the floor and they'll spawn halfway through things. Those can now be picked up. Now, the weird thing that they seem to do with that is those items no longer spawn stuck in things. They actually spawn levitating in the air. So be cautious, because it could mean somebody died there. It seems that when people die as well, their loot just stays stuck up in the air almost completely now. Yeah, so be careful, but also remember now it's nice that you can loot things that maybe weren't lootable last patch, so that's really nice to see. Also, the third-person crosshair was changed, which it was really nice to see that last patch, but it was kind of clunky. It's really weird how they have the camera orientation set a little bit off to the side, because basically when you fire, your bullets are going to travel in an angle. You know, they're going to travel to the right because your camera positions. So if something was close, you had to swing to the left if you had a melee weapon, and if something was far away, you would have to put your crosshairs. Actually, you'd have to swing to the left, and if something was far away, you had to put your crosshairs far to the left to hit them on the right. So it was a little funky, and I don't think they'll ever be able to completely get rid of that, but the new patch seemed to fix part of that issue. It seems a lot more accurate, so that's really nice to see as well, and hopefully they keep working with it. I think that they should just center the camera like a normal third person and just have it straight on crosshairs. Then they wouldn't have to deal with any of the issues with bullet trajectory and going sideways and any of that stuff, but we'll see where it ends up. But it's a step forward. So. And also another optimization, at least this is what it sounds like, it's kind of worded poorly. Fixed an issue with grass on low frame rate. Now, I'm not sure if that means they fixed an issue with grass on low settings, where it had frame rate issues, or if they fixed an issue with grass causing low frame rates. They had reduced the amount of grass before in the game because it was causing people to have low FPS, so I'm kind of thinking that that's the issue. And so now hopefully if people were having issue with the high amount of grass before, they have started to optimize for that, and then maybe they can reintroduce some of that grass into the game, because some of these areas look so barren compared to what they were before, and it looks so amazing in some of the areas that have a lot of grass, so I'd like to see more of that come back. So that's basically it for the patch. Like I said, it's only 30 megabytes, so it's not very big, but it was some polishing and some changes that people asked for, so that's nice to see. It shows that they're actually listening to the community, which is great. So until next time, this is Kurgan. Thanks for watching my video. Hopefully I'll have up another PvP one within the next day, or maybe 2 at most, so check back later.